What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing a tier list video for all the anime I've watched in 2021, whether that be in my own time or on the channel. Very excited to get into this video and hoping you're all having a really awesome day. The new year is about to come upon us, so I thought I'd do this video just to kind of round out the year and see where I'm kind of ranking everything. I do score all my anime on my anime list while I go watching the animes, but just for a bit more perspective, I can do a video about a tier list for the anime and it'll give you guys a better representation of what I think about the shows as well. Be quite a lot of comparing in today's episode, as I usually like to do tier lists. As if I put something in C, I can see whether I like something more or even less than before I put that. So we'll get right into the tier list. Make sure you let me know what you guys thought about this though down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy the video, and of course subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with any of my reactions. I think also today I've got a free day, so I thought I'd do this as a lot of the weekly anime are on hold for a week. So we'll actually get into the one that I was meant to watch today, which is Osama Ranking. Very, very good show. Of course, it's not finished yet. We're about halfway through the show, but it's top tier for me so far. Again, I can't kind of give it 100% just because there's still half of the story left and we're yet to see how it concludes and such, but the characters in the show have just got so much life, and the story is really awesome and really twisty as well. When I say it like that, it kind of diverts your expectations 100%. It almost seems like a bit of a Disney type of animation, but it kind of goes past that, as I said, and just kind of twists the expectations. So I think this one has definitely got to go A tier for me. I will also be trying to kind of rank them within their own tiers as well if I can. Usually I get a little bit it gets a bit complex by that point. So yeah. Next we'll go on to Pokemon Evolutions. One obviously I didn't watch on the channel. I think they're only about 8-minute shorts. I've watched in my free time and these are absolutely great. I think I'm actually It's gonna be hard to actually rank this one right off the bat because I've got not much to compare it to other than Osama Ranking, but I'll put that for B tier for now. I will do a few movements here and there, but yeah, absolutely love this. Again, there's not too much in the way of story. You get that classical kind of Pokemon game stories within the 8-minute episodes, and seeing that in animation and beautifully animated is absolutely amazing. But again, they are quite kind of short and don't really have a coherent story, but what they are good at is again giving you that short burst of like the story from the games rather than the kind of anime story, which I used to watch the Pokemon anime but not so much anymore. I feel like that is kind of when you're a kid you watch that, as opposed to a lot of the anime I'm watching nowadays, which some are meant for kids, but some can be viewed by older audience as well, a bit like the Disney movies again. But yeah, just beautifully animated. I definitely recommend you guys watch these, as they're only about 8-minute shorts. After that, yeah, B tier seems alright. It'll probably be low B tier by the end of this. After that, I think we'll go for Horimiya. Really anticipated show for me. I do like a romance anime. I much well, it's not like I like romance all that much. I just really like emotional stuff, emotional songs which have a lot of impact and a lot of kind of not thought, but a kind of lot of passion put into them. That's why I really like Japanese music in general, but I thought this show would have a lot of passion and a lot of romance elements in it, so it was very, very hyped up for me. Unfortunately, it didn't quite deliver in that aspect. There was some really awesome moments, but just didn't quite hit me as hard as I was hoping for, so I think that one has got to go in the C tier for now. Average, again, it has some really good moments and it has some kind of stale moments as well. I actually thought the best part of Horimiya was the side characters, which was, again, quite unfortunate, as in a romance anime like this, you kind of want the main characters to be the kind of center of attention and the most kind of invested characters in the show. So yeah, that one was a bit of a disappointment for me, unfortunately. So that is C tier. If you guys, yeah, I will kind of explain these. C tier is about 5 out of 10, so average, and then D tier is below average, and then F tier is of course horrible. B tier, of course, above average. A tier, very good, and then S tier. S tier is S tier. After that, we will go on to an F tier, The Promised Neverland season 2. I was actually okay with the show for the first few episodes, and then it was just kind of, it didn't really go back to the previous season. It didn't really relate at all to that. I mean, we came from the first season into the second season, but that's kind of where the kind of links back kind of end, except for with the book and such. And you can tell there were aspects there that could end up really damn good, but it was just awfully rushed, especially the ending with the kind of slideshow at the end. It was just not what I was looking for the Promised Neverland season 2, as I very much loved the first season. I actually watched the first season on my first ever channel, which is unfortunately deleted now. I watched it all on there and absolutely loved it. As a very much horror fan, I absolutely loved the tension throughout the show and the shocking factors without there being all that much gore and such. I absolutely loved it. So it's very much a shame about season 2 having pretty much none of the good aspects season 1 had. Did have a few kind of tense moments, but those tense moments were overshadowed by how very much fast it was. But yeah, F tier for the Promised Neverland season 2, unfortunately. After that, we will see. There's so many good shows on it, man. I watched a lot of good anime this year. I think a lot more good anime than last year. Although I didn't do a list like this last year. I think next we'll go on to Haikyuu, which I haven't quite finished yet. I'm on season 4, part 2, so almost there. And I think there's going to be a new season coming out in 2022, which is awesome news. I think for Haikyuu, we're going to put that in. Ooh. See, I'm dwindling on A and B tier. It's got so many good moments, and it's got so many unexpected, wholesome moments as well. I was just expecting it to be this kind of energetic, kind of sports show, almost like a bit of a I haven't seen Naruto, but a bit of a Naruto, I guess. Again, I haven't seen Naruto, but it just wasn't what I expected at all, and I really enjoy it. So I think we'll go top of B tier. Definitely could go in low A tier at some point. I think it's not quite on Osama rankings level for me at the minute, just in terms of tone. But again, the tone of Haikyuu is really damn awesome. But again, there's just something about Osama ranking that really gets to me on an emotional level. I think it's because having a main character that's kind of imposed just automatically kind of gives you that feeling about him, being Boji, of course. But yeah, top of B for Haikyuu. Again, it feels weird putting that on the same with Pokemon Evolutions, which is only 8-minute kind of shorts, but the animation in it is god tier. Trust me, definitely go watch it if you haven't seen it, and especially if you're a fan of the Pokemon games. After that, we will go with My Hero Academia season 5. Now, this one was very slow to start out with. The first 15, 16, 17 episodes could comfortably go in D or even F tier for some people, I imagine. But it was, just very slow, just seeing the kids go up against, from Class 1A go up against Class 1B. There were some interesting fights in there, but there were also some really boring fights in there. We see Deku get his whip power during that period, so there was definitely some story elements that came from there, but it just went all the way up towards the end of the season, seeing some of Shigaraki's backstory and then seeing the League of Villains fight. What's his name? I forgot the villain's name. The one with the big old nose. He's voiced by Gintoki. But yeah, that was an awesome second half again. Mostly, in my opinion, for Shigaraki. He was a character I didn't really care about that much, and I thought was very overhyped going into season 5. As so everyone's got so much praise for him. I think a lot of them are manga readers. People were saying that he was the best character in the franchise, for example, and I just didn't understand that up until season 5. But he's definitely gone up there in my books and is a great character. So I think it's got to go C tier and above Horimiya, probably high C tier, maybe low B tier. But again, we can kind of look at it at the end. Okay, so after My Hero, we are going to go with, this one is a bit of a cop-out, to be honest. It's Kageyasama the Ova. Now, this OVA was very promiscuous, to say the least. I think is the words for it. I'm also going to be counting the trailer as well, which we get a 10-minute kind of sneak peek of the next season. Just kind of put both of them in one here. I think it was definitely a good trailer. The trailer was awesome for teasing the next season, giving us a kind of half episode, and the OVA was decent. Again, a bit too much for my liking, but it's definitely still has some good comedy moments in there. I think we'll put that in C tier, just above Horimiya, and My Hero Academia is quite funny. A special and a trailer is above this, but again, that just kind of shows how disappointed I was in it, unfortunately. Again, it did have some good romantic elements, but it just didn't really pull on the heartstrings, and being only 12 episodes, it's really hard to do that, especially in the first season. So after that, we will move to Rakugo, another one I'm currently in the midst of watching. I'm only about 7 episodes through, so I can't really form too much of an opinion at the moment, but from what I have seen, I am absolutely loving the show. I think it's going to be a B tier for me for now. just above Pokemon Evolutions. Yeah, like, again, only see those 7 episodes. The first episode being a 40-minute episode, mind you, but absolutely love the aspects of Rakugo, especially. Never knew what it was going into the show. I don't think a lot of people did in general. I don't think a lot of Western people do, or people other anywhere but Japan. But absolutely love the style of storytelling. Just one singular person just doing every element of a story by themselves. Multiple people, sound effects, movements that help with it. It's just very it just captures your attention, and it's just absolutely great to watch, especially the voice actors who voice the main characters in the show. They do an absolutely brilliant job of doing the Rakugo, so definitely a B tier for me so far, and definitely has potential to reach A and maybe even S tier, as I'm really enjoying the relationships in the show as well. Again, I haven't really got a bad word to say about it, to be honest with you guys, other than the opening isn't the best. I don't mind the opening, but I would the opening song isn't one of my favourites, but you can't really rate the show based on the opening. The opening is just kind of this additional factor, isn't it? Moving on to that, considering openings, we'll go on to ReZero Season 2 Part 2. I'm currently rewatching Season 2 Part 2. I'm only on Episode 1. I've just finished watching Season 2 again, and yeah, wow, Season 2 is even better than it was the first time on a watch back. And Season 2 Part 2, again, I do need to watch it back. I'm only 1 episode, well, I haven't even watched that episode yet. I'm only going to be 1 episode through the rewatch, but absolutely loved Season 2 Part 2. It's going to be the first S tier on the list. I do really love isekai anime. I know a lot of people hate on isekai and the genre in general, but I really love isekai anime. I think it does come from that place of us wanting to escape and this new world of the show or the movie we're about to watch, and being in a isekai anime, you really go kind of full dive into that. And I think ReZero is definitely one of the ones that are top tier in that selection, with the kind of romance elements, the action elements, horror elements. It's got a little bit of every genre in there. It's got a lot of comedy as well. Again, just one almost a perfect isekai for me personally. So S tier there. It probably will be towards the bottom of S tier by the end of the list, just from what I'm kind of going through in my head, but still S tier for me, as well as Season 2. I would have put Season 2 A tier a year ago, but now Season 2 is S tier as well, personally. So after ReZero Season 2 Part 2, we will go for The Way of the House Husband. Now, if you've guys seen my reaction to this, I've only actually uploaded Episode 1 reaction, and I didn't like it in the first episode. I do kind of regret the way I was thinking about it in the first episode. I was thinking that it would be a anime show, but it was kind of more like this kind of animated manga, which I didn't know going in, so that's just going to cause disappointment right off the bat, of course. I didn't mind some of the comedy in the episode, I do remember, so I do kind of wish I gave it maybe a longer period of time to mull over, and more of a chance, which again I do feel bad about, and it's nowhere near as bad as The Promised Neverland Season 2. So I might go back and watch it at some point, as again I really like the concept, being an old mafia guy now just could be in a house husband. So I will put it in D tier just because I have only seen that 1 episode, but again, a show I am going to give a chance again, and I think there is a Season 2 coming out at some point, so obviously there is a big audience for it. After that, we will go with 86. I haven't seen Season 2. I've finished all of the first season, and it's a show I actually feel is reasonably overhyped. Please don't hate me for any of these opinions. Again, these are just my opinions, so again, it could be very wrong to all you guys. Could be completely flipped this list, but yeah, personally, I feel like the show is reasonably overhyped. I've only again seen the first season, but I like the mech aspects to it, and the action was decent, but the kind of pulling on the heartstrings and the emotional element just didn't really catch me personally. And the themes of the show I've seen before, and they are hard hitting, but again, I have seen them actually done better before, for example in Attack on Titan. So yeah, I think this one was reasonably overrated, but has some very nice animation and does have some decent storytelling, but again, just isn't really my cup of tea. So I think this will go, I think again it is above Harimia, but I think we will go middle of C tier there for me. I think as well what the first season was a kind of prologue, so again, Season 2 might absolutely blow me out of the water when I do eventually end up watching it, but for now, the first season of 86 does go in the middle of C tier for me. I know that will probably be a controversial one, as a lot of people do think both Season 1 and Season 2 are anime of the year. But yeah, not for me personally. So after that, we will go for. See, there's so many good ones to pick out here. I'm trying to pick out ones that aren't going to go in the top right away, but I guess we will pick another one of those. We've got Gintama, the final, and every season in between, and movie. This is just pretty much the whole Gintama series I'm going to be ranking here. Of course, it's going to go top of S tier, as it took over as my favourite series I've ever watched on the channel and off the channel. As some of you guys might know, I did watch anime before I started the channel for about a year. Kageyasama was my favourite anime up until that point, just as it was one of the first ones I watched and one of the ones that hit me very emotionally, especially at the end. I cried like a baby, so just that experience with it made it my top anime, and having something to beat out that and having to watch that on the channel as well was just absolutely amazing. The whole experience around it is just created my #1 anime. Of course, the final as well just ended it off beautifully, so it can't really go anywhere else but S tier. Again, I was looking back on my channel, all my uploads from December to January, and a whole bunch of them were Gintama. I think I was on episode 200 by the time the year started, and obviously finished it all throughout the year. I think I finished in about just before September, so binged a lot of Gintama in the last couple of years. But yeah, fair to say it definitely deserves the S ranking up there. Okay, so after Gintama the final, we will go on one I watched in my own time, The Great Pretender. This again came out in 2020, but I did end up watching it this year in 2021. I think it was towards the start of this year. I can't actually remember. It'd be nice if my anime list did give you a more kind of specific time of when you watch stuff. You can see for about 1 month back from when you watch stuff, but of course that's not enough time for when I watched Great Pretender. I think I watched this in 2021, so this one has got to go A tier as well, and top of A tier, could possibly go S tier, because this is an absolutely great show. If you guys haven't watched this, make sure to watch it, as the animation is really nice. Not something that is comparable to Pokemon Evolutions, for example, or Attack on Titan, but has some awesome storylines as well, with a couple of swindlers. They pretty much just go around, what's the word for it? Swindling people, I guess. But it's just so much fun to watch, and there's I think about 4 or 5 storylines in there, focusing on different characters, but having one main character you follow throughout the whole thing. And again, it's just so well done. Got an awesome ending sequence as well by Queen, so definitely check that out if you guys haven't seen it before. Definitely one of the best shows I've watched in a while. So after The Great Pretender, we will go with Komi Can't Communicate, which is a show that I've just recently finished. Got the manga picture here again. I haven't seen any of these in manga except for Gintama. I haven't seen any of these in manga or light novel form, so everything here will be anime only. As you can see, I've got a couple manga pictures. Komi Can't Communicate, again, another one that really built me up on the first episode. The first episode was awesome, man. Got me invested in the show heavily, seeing Komi and Tadano kind of write on this board together and kind of overcome this communication disorder at that point. But from episode 1 onwards, there wasn't actually that much progression with any of the characters. We do see Komi make about 10 or so friends throughout the season, but it's more in a comedic way rather than a kind of wholesome, and it doesn't have the romance I was looking for as well. But again, I think that was another aspect of what was it? Of Gokushufugo, or whatever it's called, The Way of the House Husband. I was expecting something that it wasn't meant to be. It was never meant to be this kind of romantic show, I don't think. I think it was always meant to be a comedy in essence. So again, you always kind of get disappointment if you're expecting something that's never going to happen. The comedy was really good, and the animation is top notch as well, that's for sure. I am going to check out a second season, but probably not on the channel. Again, I just would have loved some more kind of hard-hitting moments from the show, so I think this one has got to go C tier as well. And probably top of C tier, to be honest. Yeah, I think that deserves top of C tier. Again, the animation alone could make it B tier. It's beautifully animated. So yeah, C tier for that. A lot of C tier so far. After that one, we will go for Uminako no Naku Colony. This is again another one I watched in my own time. I think I probably actually started it last year, and then I've continued it all the way till about June. I think about June time. I haven't actually kept up with it since then. It's just a very, very long show. Not the show. The show is. I actually watched up until episode 19, and then I dropped it and moved to watching a playthrough of the visual novel. But again, there's a lot of time that goes into that and a lot of investment. And I think I watched about probably over 15 hours, and yeah, I just haven't had too much time for it recently. But absolutely love the mystery elements of it, the mystery kind of horror elements of it. Again, you guys know I really like my horror, so I love the kind of tense moments in the show, and the witchcraft and such is also magical to watch. There was a couple good episodes in there in the anime, but I've heard it is a bad adaptation, so I did end up dropping the anime and moving over to the visual novel. Again, a really awesome premise. I don't think it's really fair wherever I rank this, to be honest with you guys, as again I haven't seen the full show and I haven't watched the full visual novel. I will rank it just based on the anime. If I am just going based on the anime, it is C tier, and it is probably bottom of C tier just for the anime. But the premise again is A to S tier, and from what I saw in the visual novels, could definitely hit S tier. But again, just haven't actually made it that far at this point. I know one of my good friends, Mega Turtles, is currently going through it at the minute, and he is absolutely loving it. So definitely recommend checking out the visual novel for that one if you guys haven't played it already. After Uminako, we will go with Ijiranade Nagatoro-san. This is one of the only shows I've actually dropped on the channel. I think I have dropped a few, but Ijiranade is one of those, and again, it had this decent kind of premise with there being a kind of high school bullyish type girl teasing this guy. Again, it could have led to some really wholesome, great romantic moments and such, but again, this one was another one that focused a lot on the comedy and has that very episodic feel, a bit like JoJo's Part 3 with a new stand coming in every other episode. Don't get me wrong, I love JoJo's Part 3, but when it's done with comedy and with so much of the same comedy, just teasing comedy, it does get a bit stale quite quickly. So ended up dropping this on episode 6, and I think this one, I feel bad putting it next to Way of the House Husband, as again, House of the Husband I haven't seen more than one episode of. Sorry, I'm just changing the music on my phone quickly. Yeah, I haven't actually seen more than one episode of, so I feel bad putting it next to it, but I guess just below Way of the House Husband. I don't think it deserves to be next to The Promised Neverland, but bottom of D tier seems about right for me. Okay, so after Ijiranade Nagatoro-san, we are going to go with Jujutsu Kaisen, one that started in 2020 again, but did end this season in 2021. Haven't actually seen the movie yet. I'm not sure if it's out anywhere other than Japan right now, but haven't seen the movie or any of the trailers actually. Don't really want to spoil myself too much. Actually, I think I might have seen one trailer, but haven't seen many of the recent trailers, I should say. Again, don't want to spoil myself when it does come out, although it's going to be a long while. First season was absolutely awesome. The animation was beautiful. The main character is one I'm fond of, not one of my favourite main characters ever, but I think he will get expanded on in the future. But the side cast is, I haven't put it A tier yet, I'll just leave it here for a second. The side cast is just absolutely full of life. Again, I really like my side cast in shows. I really care about the main character and such, but if the show's got a really awesome side cast as well, we can get invested in that. Just makes it all the much more better for me. Again, the power system is really awesome in the show with these domain expansions and abilities. I think who is it? Todo is my favourite character in the show at the minute. Anyway, could very much get overtaken at some point, but absolutely love that guy as the bro to Itadori. But yeah, just some beautiful animations, some awesome OSTs in there as well, both the openings, endings, and just the music that plays during the show as well. It's just beautiful. Again, it's just got such great production behind it, and the story's good as well. I think when it gets even more serious in the story, it is going to go up, up, and up. I think we are going to go A tier for now, though. And I think we'll go in between Great Pretender and Osama ranking. Again, Osama ranking is just going to get a bit of the short end of the stick just because it is halfway through its season. But again, that's just a bit of a testament to just how good that show is. Again, if you guys haven't seen Osama ranking, definitely give it. Definitely check it out. Again, it is a very kind of vibe-ridden show for me. It's just got such an awesome theme and vibe to it that a lot of shows kind of miss out on. It's just, yeah, just makes you feel warm inside watching it. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen in the middle of A tier for me. After that, we'll go with how did I split this up? Did I split this up? Yeah, I did. I've got the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie. This will kind of encompass both the Mugen Train movie and the Mugen Train anime weekly season we watched a couple weeks ago. For me, the movie, well, both versions had some beautiful animation. Didn't actually care too much about the storyline, especially in the first half with the train kind of segment. Didn't care too much about the demon. Again, some really awesome fights and such happened during that, and some dream sequences which were interesting. Again, they could have actually been made a lot better in my opinion, and had a real impact on the story. I think they actually done them a little bit better in the I really like the first episode of the season of Demon Slayer Mugen Train, as it had an anime original episode, but again, they had a lot of chances to kind of create some really awesome character development in those dream sections with Inosuke and Zenitsu, but just kind of put some comedy stuff in there, which I didn't enjoy all that much. But again, the animation on the train sequence was great, and then the Akaza and Rengoku sequence during the latter half of the movie was absolutely amazing. So I think this one has got to go top of B tier for me. Again, animation and production, sound design, everything top class, but story lets it down just a little bit and makes it a B tier for me personally. We have got the entertainment district arc as well, but I'll get on to that a little bit later. Then we have Blue Period, anime I was very excited about. I did hear from a few people that a couple of the Gintama staff will work on the show. Just a show about art in general was an interesting premise for me, as obviously anime is kind of art itself, so an anime focusing on art was going to be either really good or really bad in my opinion, but ended up actually being kind of the middle of the pack for me personally. I will put this in C tier. Ooh. See, I really enjoy the story. So the artwork is really nice as well, but the animation in general does let it down a bit on the character designs and such. But they do such a good job drawing the actual artwork in the show. You've definitely got to respect that. Again, the story is really awesome, and one I haven't actually seen in anime before, focusing on these artists and seeing what goes on in their head and such. Just something I've never really thought about before. So definitely very intrigued in that aspect, but again, does get let down a little bit by its production. I think, yeah, middle of C tier. It seems about right for me. Again, a lot of people were disappointed with the adaptation, but as an anime only who hasn't seen the manga, both the premise and the artwork really intrigued me. So hopefully we get a kind of second season, and hopefully they can do it a little bit more justice in the future. There we go. Apologies, I'm playing some songs on my phone next to me. Doing this in silence is a bit overwhelming sometimes. I think I did do my last one. I think my last tier list was the Gintama tier list, wasn't it? And I think I done all them in silence. But yeah, middle of C tier for Blue Period. After that, we will go with Beastars Season 2. One I watched at the start of this year, I'm pretty sure, so it's been a while since I've watched it, and I haven't actually rewatched it, but for what I remember, I did enjoy this season. I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as the first season. I did really love the world building and such in the first season, which obviously gives it that little edge on the second season for me personally, but did have a really awesome antagonist in the bear. Seeing the snake as well during parts of the season was cool, but again, I feel like that could have got fleshed out a little bit more, that character. But what it does for Nagoshi as well was real great. I think this one, if it's in C tier, it's got to go top. I don't know if I can put it in C tier. I really enjoy. I enjoy Beastars in general. I think towards the bottom of B tier seems about right. I think I'm going to end up moving Mugen Train down to just above Beastars and in the middle of B tier. I think I do prefer both of these shows that I'm currently watching at the minute to both the Mugen Train movie and the TV series. So yeah, middle of B tier, towards the end of B tier for Beastars for me. Again, I really couldn't put it with any of these in C tier. I don't think. Again, it's been a while. I remember the goat character being awesome as well. So that one a little bit hard for me to rank. Apologies about that. Need to rewatch that one. After that, we will go with Tony Kaku Kawaii. Another show I watched in my own time. It did come out in the 2020 summer season, maybe sometime during 2020, but I didn't watch it during the season it came out on my channel or anything, so I watched it in 2021 on my own time. I have ended up dropping it, but I haven't dropped it for a bad reason. It's just I haven't really had time to watch it, which, well, I have, to be honest, because I've been rewatching shows, but it's just a kind of very standard romance comedy, and again, it focuses more on the comedy than it does on the romance and wholesome moments. It's a little bit like an issue I have with the Marvel movies. I haven't watched Marvel movies in a while, just because they just put these really odd comedic moments in such odd places where you'd expect there to be a lot of tension and such, and it all just kind of gets drowned out by a very bad joke. Not saying that the same thing happens with Tony Kaku Kawaii, but it does have a lot of comedy where, again, I would have liked some more kind of wholesome moments. It does have some really great wholesome moments and such in some of the opening episodes, but again, just like Komi-san, it just kind of gets lost while it keeps going on. So I think this one will go in C tier, and I think we'll put that towards the bottom of C tier. Again, I've only watched about 6 episodes, so I can't give my full kind of opinion on it, but that's just what I thought during watching those episodes. I'm just going to change up the song quickly. Funnily enough, I'm going to put the Tony Kaku Kawaii opening on. The opening, I will say, though, is absolutely perfect. Such an awesome song. It's almost like a bit of a rap song, but with some kind of romance elements in there. Alright, so after Tony Kaku Kawaii, we will go with Attack on Titan, the final season, or the first half of the final season. Now, I rewatched this about 2 weeks ago. I actually really enjoyed it when I watched it on the channel, but I didn't catch nearly as much as I caught when I was watching in my own time. Again, I think just one of those things, watching live and weekly, especially, I have this thing where I feel like I can't pause it sometimes when I'm watching, when I'm reacting to a show, just because then I'll have to kind of edit it and such, and end up taking away from the pacing for you guys and that. But I think that's something I will work on a bit more in 2022, having a pause of the show and kind of discussing opinions while the show is going on. Of course, we have two sides to every coin, where people will like that and people won't like that, but I think I will end up doing that a little bit more, just so I can catch more stuff in a show. Again, I caught so much more on the second watch of Attack on Titan, and had so much more of an appreciation, especially for Sasha. Again, I didn't really like her death and the aspects of her death on the first watch. I remember not liking it at all, but on the second watch through, again, she's not a character I cared all that much for, but her death's impact and such just has a major impact on the story, which I missed on the first watch through. So something vital like that I don't really want to miss again. And yeah, I absolutely loved it, even more on the second watch through, especially again the Zeke backstory. This has definitely got to go S tier, and it will go in the middle of S tier, just below Gintama, the final, and just above ReZero, season 2, part 2. Again, awesome, and hopefully they can do just as good a job with the second part of that season. Alright, so after Attack on Titan, the final season, we will go for Durarara. Now, I've only seen the first season. I did drop the show, or kind of drop the show. I finished the first season on the channel, ended up enjoying it. Again, I like the mystery aspects of it and the tension aspects of it, and the animation was something very different from what I've seen before as well. Of course, the openings are absolute bangers, but I ended up watching about 3 or 4 episodes of the second season, and there's a couple of new additions, being Orihara's sisters, that are very annoying, and in general, I didn't really like the opening to the second season nearly as much. It didn't have nearly as much intrigue as, again, I think a lot of things were explored already in the first season. So yeah, it kind of lost that kind of shine for me personally, going into the second season. I'm not 100% sure if I'll pick it up, but I probably will at some point one day. But yeah, the first season was really good. The ending was really awesome as well. So yeah, I think this one has got to go in the B tier, and just below B stars, I think. Again, it's been a little while since I did watch it, but I think B tier is bottom of B tier is just about fair for that. After that, we will go for Higurashi Sotsu. Now this was interesting. I didn't actually like that how this ended that much, and I was expecting a little bit more out of the show rather than just kind of hints and such. It didn't really do anything kind of major for the Higurashi series. Again, I don't actually remember it that well, which probably goes to say a little bit something about the story, as it hasn't been too long since I watched it. I don't think it's definitely been a lot longer since I watched Beastar season 2 than this, and can't really remember all that much from this. A lot of it was rewatches of the of Higurashi Go, which did kind of suck. It was a bit lazy in storytelling. It did have some new aspects every episode, but only about 5 or 6 minutes for new animation. A lot of about 18 minutes of the episodes was kind of reused animation. So unfortunately, it has got to go in the D tier for that. But I will put it top of D tier, as again I love my horrors, so the horror elements were still there and still amazingly disgusting. So yeah, top of D tier for Higurashi Sotsu. After that, we will go for JoJo's Part 6, Stone Ocean. Now, another one I haven't quite finished yet. Well, no one's finished it, of course. There's only about 12 episodes released right now, and I'm about 9 episodes through. From what I've got from the 9 episodes, it's been very fun so far. Not all too much in the way of kind of well, there is this kind of serious storyline with Jotaro being abducted and such by this white snake, but nothing in terms of a kind of major plot points, and we don't really know what the antagonist's kind of major goals are. Well, I don't so far, with 3 episodes left to watch, and another 24 after that, hopefully. Yeah, can't really give my full opinion on it again, but so far I am really enjoying it. It's very fun, and I wasn't expecting Jolene to be such a good character, and especially the 2 side characters. I really wasn't expecting to like both the green-haired girl and Hermes. She ends up being Foo Fighters. Didn't think I'd like the cast all that much in general, to be honest, but it's one of my favourite casts so far, and definitely has potential to go A, maybe even S tier at some point. But I think we will put it in the B tier. And I think we will go towards the top of B tier for Stone Ocean. Again, it has got a lot of potential, depending on what happens in the next kind of segment released. And I think the villain as well. I haven't seen too much of him, but he definitely has a lot of potential as well. So B tier for that. After that, we will go for World Trigger. Now, this is a I'm going to encompass all of World Trigger in this season 1, season 2, and season 3. I all watched this year. Now, season 1 was a bit slow. Animation was not there, but you could definitely tell there was a kind of diamond in the rough. There was like the fighting aspects of it and the mental aspects of it and the planning for fights and such. You could tell that it had a really good premise, and it could have some really nice animation and action scenes. But again, just the animation let that down a little bit. But season 2 was absolutely superb. My favourite season so far. We have got a couple episodes left of season 3, so season 3 could take it over very soon with this last fight of Rank Wars, but season 2 was absolutely amazing. I remember just kind of gushing and just not keeping my eyes off the screen watching through that season in preparation for season 3. So yeah, absolutely love what they've done with it. I think it's definitely got to go at least B tier at the minute, just because again the action is absolutely superb. Whereabouts in B tier? See, if I'm ranking the whole thing, to be fair, if I'm ranking season 1 in there as well, season 1 is the majority of the show at 74 episodes. But season 2 and season 3 just make up for it so much, don't they? I think we'll go B tier. I think we'll go towards the bottom of B tier again. This is a little bit unfair, because if I was to do season 2 and season 3, they'd probably be low A, top of B tier potentially, but again, season 1 does let it down a little bit, although that is the kind of introduction to the series, so it does that well. But again, season 2 and season 3 are very, very good. Be at bottom of B tier for World Trigger as a whole. After that, we will go for Heion Sedai, which is a very interesting show that came out this year. Very intriguing premise, very weird premise, and some weird animation, but some very nice animation. A show made by Mappa. Again, wasn't really expecting anything from this show. It's a bit crude. Definitely has a bit of crudeness in every episode. So yes, it's hard to describe, to be honest. It's a very weird show, very crazy show, and I very much like my crazy shows. Hasn't got the greatest storyline ever, and hasn't got the greatest characters ever, but definitely a very fun show. I think it's probably C tier. and I think it's probably better than Horimiya, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'll put it in the middle of C tier. Again, I can't really give you guys too much on the show, to be honest, because it's so weird and crazy, but I definitely do enjoy it, and I definitely will be sticking around if there is a second season. But some of the crudeness is a little crude, and there is a lot of very disgusting things happen as well, which is, again, very awesome for a horror fan like myself. So after Heion Sedai, we will go for Odd Taxi. I'm going to find a better picture, unfortunately, so you get the viral guy. Odd Taxi was absolutely brilliant. I only just finished it a couple months ago. I think it came out towards the early starts of this year. Earlier this year, but I ended up watching it quite late, and I'm very glad I did end up watching it, though, as I absolutely loved the starting episodes. Built the characters brilliantly, especially Odokawa, and then the end of the season as well was just absolutely awesome, especially the last episode. Hopefully, I think there is a movie coming out soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be a recap movie or a kind of sequel movie, but very excited for that whenever it does come out. I think it might be just kind of releasing as well onto streaming sites rather than having a theatrical release, so that would be really awesome. But it was a very, very good show. I had some of my favourite episodes of the year, to be honest. The Tanaka focused one was absolutely awesome, with him playing kind of phone games and getting addicted to buying rubbers and such, and was just all kinds of mad. There were some awesome episodes. There were a few slow episodes, but the awesome episodes were top class. So it's a tough one. It could go bottom of A tier. I think we're going to go, what do I want to do with this? I think I'm going to go bottom of A tier, just because, again, it had those absolutely brilliant episodes that blew me away. So bottom of A tier for Odd Taxi. See, it feels tough to put it above Haikyuu, because Haikyuu has been awesome. Okay, yeah, I'll leave it how it is for now. Again, I might make a few changes at the end. I might not. So after that, we will go for Assassination Classroom. Now, the first season was quite slow, in my opinion. Had some, again, this is more of a kind of comedic action type show. Did get very emotional towards the end, which I really enjoyed. Again, I enjoyed the aspects with a lot of kind of emotion put into it. But again, this is very kind of comedy and action focused in the first season, and most parts of the second season as well. But the second season expanded the story so well. If I could rank the first season would probably be C tier, and the second season would probably be B tier. So I think that having a mix of that, it probably goes towards the bottom of B tier. I think it definitely does beat out every show in C tier, to be fair. But whereabouts in B tier does it go? One second, guys. Just thinking. Again, it had a brilliant ending, but there was more than a few kind of not needed episodes in there. So I think we will go just between Durarara and World Trigger for Assassination Classroom season 1 and 2. Again, very hard hitting towards the end of the show, but there was probably about 10 or maybe even 15 episodes that could have just been completely wiped away, and it wouldn't have changed the story and such, or how I felt about it at all. So yeah, bottom of B tier. After that, we will go for One Day Egg Priority. This show had a whole lot of promise and was really, really good. Especially the early episodes. It had this focus on things people and shows don't really want to have a focus on, being suicides, young girl suicides and such, and the kind of mental aspects of people growing up. So it's very intriguing in that respect, and had all kinds of weirdness going on with eggs and these kind of Uraraka, these people. Was an awesome show, but very, very much got let down by the special that was released. If I could rate the special, it would be F tier, 100%. The special was all types of confusion and didn't round off the story at all. It was meant to be a kind of end to the story, but it didn't really end off the story at all. And yeah, it was very contrived. I remember lots of craziness happened towards the end of the actual season of One Day Egg Priority, which just blew my mind, with these AIs and such, and seeing how these kind of what they called mannequin people ended up getting their bodies like that. It was absolutely crazy, and absolutely loved the show. And unfortunately, it did get, again, let down by that finale. So can't go above a C tier for me on that basis. If it was just the first season, it would probably go a bit higher, but I think we have to go C tier, and I think it will go. Ooh, man, this one's so tough. So again, I really enjoyed it. There were some really good episodes in there. The animation was really nice as well. Poor. Genuinely, it could go from F tier to anywhere in B tier. This one's so tough to rank. I'm just going to plop it here. Actually, I'm just going to plop it there, I think. Middle of C tier towards the top. Again, the first season, really awesome. I would tell you guys to check it out, but I don't want you guys to be disappointed by the special, so maybe don't. Alright, so after that we will go for Orwelli Monogatari, or the Monogatari series in general. I did start in 2020. I ended up dropping it on the channel. Again, it had these aspects of this kind of crudeness again, which I don't really like all that much with Araragi and a lot of the girls in the series. Again, I don't really like that, and it was happening a lot during the time that I dropped the show. After that point, though, it pretty much never happened again, to be honest with you guys. So I was actually enjoying it in my own time, especially this Orwelli Monogatari. The first half was absolutely brilliant with Sadachi. Absolutely loved that story, but actually now just kind of dropped it again for the minute. About 2 episodes left of Orwelli Monogatari, as it is kind of slowing down a bit for me again. Again, it's another one I think is kind of overrated. Baki Monogatari and such has some brilliant stories, but I feel like the further the series goes, the kind of more boring it gets. I think it is because it's a very dialogue focused show. It does get quite hard to kind of keep your mind focused on just words for that long. For me anyway, but definitely has a really awesome premise. There's some great stories to tell in some of them. Again, it's another one where some episodes and some seasons are A tier, maybe even S tier, and some episodes and some seasons are D and C tier. So I think as a kind of amalgamation of that, I think I will go B tier. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'll go here, because again, some of the stories are absolutely brilliant and hit me hard as a train, and very relatable, but again, some of them are just so unrelatable and so kind of disgusting that I just not bothered about them at all. And again, it's another show that I've kind of picked up, watched 10 episodes of, enjoy those 10 episodes, go to watch the next season, then drop it, and then drop it for 3 months. So very kind of bipolar show for me personally. There's quite a lot of shows in the B and C ranks, isn't there? Makes sense, I guess, kind of being the middle ranks. But yeah, just 1 F tier so far, which is interesting. Again, Ijiranide Nagatoro-san could possibly be F tier, but I don't know. Don't think it was anywhere near as bad as The Promised Neverland. After that, we will go with Toga Avengers. Toga Avengers was a premise I absolutely loved. I love all kinds of time travel shows like Steins Gate, for example, and seeing it done well is always really enjoyable with time travel. It's less kind of focused on the time travel aspect. It's more focused on going back to the past and then kind of focusing on that past and seeing what we can do there, rather than us going back and forth, back and forth. It does happen a few times during the show, but yeah, I remember the ending of the show being absolutely crazy as well, with Kiyosaki coming in with Takemichi in the chair, and just all sorts of craziness going on during the finale. Had 2 really good arcs as well. A lot of people didn't like the show, but I personally really enjoy the gang aspect of it. It's really awesome seeing how gangs kind of function at this age, and seeing what they do. It had some decent animation in there as well. The animation did kind of falter during some episodes of the season, so it definitely does get a couple of points taken away from that, but I think in general it had a very intriguing premise, and it actually pulled it off pretty well in my opinion. I am an anime only, so again I can't really speak on how it was adapted, but I think this one has got to go. I think this one's got to go B tier. However, I don't think I liked it quite as much as the rest of the shows in B tier, so I think I will put it at the bottom, just above Pokemon Evolutions. Again, with its premise and what it can do story-wise in the future, it definitely has potential to go up there, but for the moment I think bottom of B tier should do about fine. I'll show that again quickly. Put that old taxi opening on. Okay, so after that we will go for Dr. Stone Wars. Dr. Stone is a bit of a almost a bit of a kind of, what's it called? A feel good kind of pick. I'm not really sure what the best word for it is. I can't remember right now, but I know it's not the best show ever, but it's a lot of fun to me, especially the science and learning how these kind of scientific things work. Because I've never been someone who's enjoyed science that much. I was always pretty bad at science and never really cared about classes all that much during science, and I think I ended up passing it just about, but I was pretty much set to fail by my teachers and such, just because I didn't really pay attention. But I absolutely love the science aspects of it. The action is really good as well, but the story I know isn't the best thing ever, and it's a little bit kind of contrived, but I do. It is one of those kind of, that's the word, guilty pleasures. It's a kind of guilty pleasure show for me. It's really awesome just to kind of watch, and you can think about stuff, but there's not too much thinking going on. It's more you kind of just learning all this science stuff, and that's the main takeaway I have from the show. This is the kind of science from it. So I think it's got to go C tier. I don't think it beats out anything in B tier personally. And I think I did enjoy the first season a little bit more than this season as well. Although there were some great moments in this season, wasn't there? Ooh. I think I will go about top of C tier. It could go in B tier at some point. This series in general. I think the first season probably would have gone B tier, but I think this season is just a step down. It was a little bit shorter than the first season as well, of course, which holds it back a little bit. But definitely some promising times for the next season. Okay, so next up we'll go with Fumetsu Anata no I, or To Your Eternity. Oh, what happened there? Now, this show was absolutely awesome in my opinion. From the first episode, it was hard hitting as hell. A bit like Komi Can't Communicate's first episode, although done quite right afterwards. It was absolutely awesome, man. Built the kind of love for this character, and then we end up seeing him getting killed off during this very, very harsh situation and scenario, and then seeing the kind of thing, I guess we'll call him, his journey afterwards, and it's very emotional and very hard hitting during every story for me personally. Anyway, ended up crying at the first two. I didn't cry in the first episode, but the first arc with March ended up with me in tears, and the second one with Gugu as well ended up with me in tears. It was, the first two arcs were absolutely brilliant. The Tonari arc after that was really good as well. Wasn't quite as emotionally invested with the characters as I was the other ones. I especially didn't like Tonari at the start, but they ended up actually warming me up to Tonari, which I thought was absolutely immense. So I really enjoyed the show personally, and it was one of my favourite shows that came out this year. I think this has got to go A tier for me, and I think it has got towards the top of A tier. I don't think it quite beats out Great Pretender, but definitely one of my favourite shows that came out this year. I know this one's a bit hit or miss. A lot of people either really love it or really don't like it, but for me personally, I can overlook some of the animation issues in the latter half of the season because the story is just great for me personally. And again, it's another one of those kind of vibe shows, a bit like Osama Rankin, that just has this kind of wholesome and so much heart to it that it really connects to me on an emotional level. Watching this thing live throughout his life, and I'm very much hoping there's a second season, as again I absolutely loved the first season. I kind of had a feeling I would as soon as I heard the name of the show as well. But yeah, A tier for me. Next we'll go on to Evangelion, very much older show that I watched this year. I'm going to be ranking the movie with this as well. Now, the movie was absolutely awesome. The series was good as well. And again, another one of those where a few episodes probably didn't need to be there in the way that they were. A lot of them, of course, developing the characters. But again, I think it could have kind of done with a few, maybe a shorter first season. But yeah, I did enjoy the kind of psychological aspects of the show, that is for sure. Some very, very disgusting moments in there as well. With one I remember with Shinji. The end of the actual show as well was a little bit complex and complicated, but I did end up really liking again the end of Evangelion movie. We got to go along with that, so I think I'll put this in B tier. Whereabouts in B tier though? I don't think I liked it quite as much as it's hard because I like the Evangelion movie almost more than anything below JoJo's Part 6, but the rest of the show I didn't quite like as much as some of these other ones in here. I think I will put it just above Durarara and just below Beastars Season 2. Yeah, I think about middle of the B tier is about where I put that. After that, we'll go for Mushoku Tensei, both season 1, Part 1 and Part 2. Now, Part 1 was absolutely brilliant at the world building aspect of the show, and the animation was beautiful as well. And then Season 2 just like a snowball kind of added even more to that. Season 2 was, or Part 2 I should say, was absolutely brilliant, especially with the Orsted moments towards the end of the season. And the end of the season in general was just very hard hitting and impactful, not in the kind of sad emotional ways, but in the kind of distraught anguish type ways for Rudy especially. End up feeling so bad for the guy. Apologies. I've been talking for almost an hour now, but yeah, it was just another isekai anime. Like I mentioned earlier, I love my isekai anime, so this one will go S tier. It could very easily go to the top of A tier as well, but I think S tier is where I put this. Again, I love my isekai shows, and again, just such a great cast of characters in the show as well, and beautifully animated. Just a very, very well done show. It has definitely has some points in there which are contentious, some kind of sex or kind of promiscuous, again I say, some promiscuous scenes in there which again I really couldn't care less for. A bit like Monogatari series, makes me I don't know, I just don't like it, but luckily enough with Mushoku Tensei they are in very fine margins, and is scattered throughout, only for about 5 minutes during the first season of one episode, and only for about 3 minutes of another episode in the second season as well. So looking past those, I think it is definitely an S tier show. Bottom of S tier for me for Mushoku Tensei. I think a lot of you guys have this as your anime of the year as well. It's not, of course, my anime of the year, but it's definitely one of the best ones that aired this year, that is for sure. Especially during the last season as well. Okay, so after Mushoku Tensei, we will go with Dragon Maid S, a very fun show I watched this year. I actually watched the first season as well this year, so I guess I'll count that as well. Again, much more of a comedy anime, though it did have a lot of, again, hard-hitting moments. I had a few in season 1, and I had even more in season 2 with Toru and her dad and such, and just, again, the story just actually kept evolving. It is a comedy show, but again, it's a comedy show, not like Komi-san, for example, and Horimiya, where it isn't exactly focused on the. I'm chatting rubbish right now. What I'm trying to say is it's a comedy show, but it's got a lot of actual story elements, and it's actually got a lot of, again, developments for the characters. The characters develop all the way throughout the show, which again is something I can't really say about these two shows. Their characters develop and then they stop, and then they're just kind of in a straight line. But with Dragon Maid S, it's just like, it's almost like one of these graphs where it's like up and down, up and down. It's got loads of comedy, loads of development, loads of comedy, loads of development. Don't get me wrong, when I say comedy down, I absolutely love the comedy in this show. That's what got me watching the second season. Pretty much all of the first season was comedy, so yeah, absolutely love that aspect of it as well. Again, it's a bit promiscuous in ways which I couldn't really care less for, a little bit more than some of the other shows on the list, so that does take it down. But I think it's definitely a B tier, one of my favourite comedy shows I've watched in a while, to be honest with you guys. Especially anime comedy. Sometimes anime comedy is very much hit or miss for me, so this one definitely hits. I think I'm going to put it towards the top of B tier. Yeah, stands with these guys for me, and I think it beats out these. Again, the animation in season 2 as well was absolutely nuts. Kyoto Animation absolutely do a brilliant job. Speaking of Kyoto Animation, we've got Violet Evergarden, both the series and the movie. Now, there were some episodes in the series that absolutely wept me away, wiped my tears away. It got me crying like an absolute baby. There were some beautiful episodes in there, and in general, the series was very well done. Some of the latter episodes were a bit hit or miss. I know for a lot of you guys, they're a bit hit or miss as well, but just the episodes that did hit absolutely hit massively in the first season, and I will say the movie as well was the perfect end to the series. A bit like Gintama the Final, just an absolutely brilliant ending in movie form. Sometimes you can get a bit scared about it ending with a movie, but again, they just pulled everything off brilliantly in the movie. It was very emotional as well, got me tearing up big time, and again was just such a great payoff towards the end of the season, towards the end of the movie I should say, to finish out the season and finish out the anime as a whole. Was just brilliantly done. It's unfortunate we're not going to get any more Violet Evergarden because the stories were absolutely beautiful. A bit like Rakugo, a kind of story I thought would be kind of boring. I find letters and writing in general a little bit boring and breeding, but this just made it so emotional and impactful. It was just very well done. Again, one of the shows that hit me the hardest this year, and has got to go S tier for that. Whereabouts at S tier? Wow, this is difficult. I think it beats out both ReZero and Mushoku Tensei, but god damn, this is difficult. I think I've got to go. I think it's got to go just above Attack on Titan, just because the amount of tears I shed to the show. But yeah. Again, nothing against any of the shows in S tier. All the shows in S tier are S tier for a reason. I would definitely recommend checking out all of these shows above B tier. Maybe some of the ones in C tier as well. And to finish things out on, we've got the current Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc. Again, another one I probably shouldn't have ended on this one, to be honest, but another one I can't really comment all that much on. We've only seen about 4 episodes of the season, but it has got it does have a 40-minute first episode, which gives it a little bit of an extra kind of boost in that aspect. Tengen Azui, we haven't seen too much of him yet. We've seen his kind of hench mice in the latest episode, but definitely got a really awesome premise. It's a bit slower as well. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the pacing of this season, and I love that they're complaining about it because it's much more of a slow pacing in this season compared to especially the Mugen Train movie TV arc, where it was about 7 episodes for the whole movie, and it was very fast paced, moved quite fast from episode 3 onwards, and this one's took a bit more of a slower pace, and again, because I love horror and I love my tension elements, I really love the start of this, taking a slower pace and getting us to know the Entertainment District arc and meet all the inhabitants of the place before we actually get anything done or start any fights, for example. So enjoying it so far, that is for sure. Again, I can't really comment all that much on it as we haven't even got to the halfway point yet, but at the minute I'm really enjoying it, and I think it is lining up to be maybe the best Demon Slayer season yet. So I think we will put that in. Just because it's only 4 episodes, I don't think it deserves to be out any of these shows, but personally, when it is completed, if it's continuing the way it's going, it could reach bottom of A tier. More realistically, probably in between Dragon Maid or in between JoJo's. Again, we haven't finished JoJo's yet either, but yeah, I think bottom of I think pause and bottom B tier seems about right. I'm actually not going to change any of these around, as I think I'm reasonably happy with where I've placed them, and I don't really want to kind of make adjustments to what I've said already. So just in case anyone did click off at this point, if you guys did make it all the way onto this point, thank you very much. I know it's been a very long video, but yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know where you guys would have placed some of these shows down in the comment section below, if you would have put all the S tiers in S tier, for example, or if you guys have seen shows I haven't seen yet and would put them in a place or S tier, for example. Fruits Basket, show I will be covering on the channel soon enough, not this year. Unfortunately, I will be in 2022, so it should make it onto the 2022 list if I do end up doing one, which I probably will. But yeah, if you guys would have put Fruits Baskets the final in S tier, for example, which I know a lot of people would, let me know down in the comment section. Absolutely can't wait to start that show, by the way. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section and where you would have placed these. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy this video, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with any of my anime reactions. I usually do a couple of episodes a day, so hope you guys can join me for those. Again, hope you had a good year and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.